Good to see you. And I see our India head, Mr. Ash. Yes, he's here as well. So a warm welcome to you, Mr. Ashley Fernades, our India head, our Karta Dharta, as you say.
Finally, thank you.
Warm welcome to you, Ashley.
Hi, how are you?
We're good. So, Sally, I think we should we wait for just another couple of, I think students are still joining, maybe a couple of more minutes.
Yes.
So now, I just wanted to understand, Sally, for example, now if Sachit joins, because he also has not registered, he'll be able to join directly, right? Do you want me, can you share that link with me on WhatsApp also, the one that you shared with me on email, just in case he faces a problem, I tell him to join with that link. Yes, once again, a very good evening, everyone. This is 𝐤𝐸𝐺𝐲𝐨𝐧, and I take this opportunity along with our India head, Mr. Ashley Fernades, my colleagues, Recruitment Manager Sachit Bhatia, Ridham Jaiswal. We also have Rizwana, who's joined us from Mumbai as well. So the whole team, we from India, we give you a very, very warm welcome. Welcome to the CareShareDare Talks. Well, before we move on, we would just like to let you know, I'm sure a lot of you got the mailers, got, we flooded you with these messages on WhatsApp as well. But in case you haven't followed us on social media, I would just like to let you know what is this whole concept of a CareShareDare webinar that we started. So this was started during the pandemic. Because what was the state of mind of candidates who were traveling abroad at that time, anywhere, I mean, France or any part of the world. So this was something that we had started at that point to help our students who were traveling to our school, to show them that we are there for them, we care for them, we are ready to share whatever information that they need at that point of time to help them take a decision, rather to dare them take a decision to be an early maker. That was the whole concept with which we started the CareShareDare Talk webinar and with the India team. And since then, we've been organizing a lot of events, activities under CareShareDare, under this thing. So this is something very exclusive and very close to our heart, you could say that. And this is one way for us to be in touch with all of you candidates who are already enrolled in our school, and candidates who are probably in that stage where they are thinking whether EMlyon is the right school for them. So this is one way for us to have that conversation going with all of you. Yes, I'll just let you know what you can expect during this webinar today. We'll be starting with an address from our India head, Mr. Ashley Fernades. A lot of you don't get a chance to have this conversation with him. So we would want him to first give an address to all of you. And it's just not, of course, besides being the India head of EMlyon Business School, I would like to let you all know, which we'll get to know through a PPT that we'll share as well, that, we have collaborations with Xavier now in India, Bhubaneswar and as well as Xavier Mumbai. And he's also the chairman of Xavier EMlyon Business School, governing board member of IFCI, Indo-French Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and someone who carries India in his heart. And the reason why he always loves engaging with the students like you. So I'll first request Ashley to address the students, and we have a small presentation for all of you, which will be carried out by me and my colleague Sally. And then, of course, we'll have an alumnus as well. We'll let him share his journey with all of you, and then you can ask questions to him, to us, whoever you want to. So that's about it for the event today. So I request Ashley to take this forward and take this opportunity to talk to these young minds today.
Okay, this was not called for. I think you were supposed to carry this CareShareDare talk all by yourself, but I guess this is what you get when you work with incompetent people on the ground. But anyway, since I have to do everything as usual, no, seriously, guys, this is exactly the type of atmosphere and sharing that we want to have with you. When we started CareShareDare Talks, Diksha rightfully mentioned that it was during dire times. And the whole purpose of it was, we talk a lot about Bani, about VUCA being, by the way, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And the idea about care, share, and dare is, first of all, to genuinely express the fact that you cannot succeed, you cannot achieve if you do not show empathy, if you do not care. And this is exactly what we are doing. We were in this together, we are still in this together, and we will be in this together. And you will learn that on your professional journey, nothing is done alone. It's always done as a team. So caring is part of the process, but more importantly, it's also part of our DNA. Caring, sharing. Sharing is about segregating the noise and the signal. You hear a lot about a lot of information out there. The problem is, what information should you listen to? What information should you work on? What information should you use? And that's why I make a distinction between noise and signal. The purpose of these talks, these conversations, is to bring you, hopefully, early signals. The early signals that will enable you to make the right decision. Now, mind you, the right decision is not probably the one we want you to make. It's the one you should make, given the information that you will be getting. And therefore, whatever decision you make, we hope it's going to be an informed decision. Okay? And that's also important. Data is important. You cannot make relevant, focused, important, long-standing decisions without the relevant data. So we're trying to figure it out and provide you with that data. And there is probably one of the most important things and most important foundational values that we share. I keep daring my team to move forward. I keep daring my team to challenge the status quo. And I think that's exactly what you should be doing as well. You are on the brink of engaging in one of the most important decisions in your life. Now, make that decision, as I said, with the right information, but I dare you to make the decision. I dare you to move forward. And I dare you to grow more than what you are currently, because that's the whole important aspect of your journey in front of you. The outcome will depend on your mindset, and the mindset is that of a growth mindset. We will talk a lot about all these notions if you haven't heard of them before, but this is exactly what we want you to do. We will dare you, we will challenge you, and you will come to emlyon for the right reasons, because I strongly believe that emlyon is one of the best schools out there, and we will help you make your future, because that's what early makers do. We are ahead of the curve, and we try to leverage all the soft signals that are ahead of us in order for you, once again, to shape the world. Diksha mentioned a very important thing. She said that India was at my, in my heart. I left India when I was 5.5 years old, but India never left me. So that's the reason why when I cashed out in 2007, I decided to, try and give back to my country of birth and also to my alma mater, because I happen to be an alumnus of the school. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I want to share with you something very important. You do not do important things, you do not do meaningful things without passion. And we are a team of passionate people. We have a lot of flaws, but we are passionate. And I hope that this passion will show, and I hope that whatever comes out of these conversations will help you. And now, mic off. It's up to you, team.
Thank you so much, Ashley. In case you have some questions that you want to ask directly to Ashley as well, you can do that. We'll have a Q&A session at the end with the team, with our alumnus as well. So that you can always ask. So we have a small, like I said, most of you are already aware. Some of you have already enrolled for the programs, and some of you are planning to enroll. So you obviously are aware of the brand. You obviously are, you know about the programs that you have enrolled in or you're interested in. But we would still like to give you a little bit idea about the school that you're going to. That's probably going to become a part of your journey from September 2023. So we have a PPT which we would like to share with all of you, and like I said, me and Saili would like to take you through that. So Saili, would you be sharing it, or okay, you started sharing it. Perfect. So yes, this is our CSD talk. As Ashley said, we call it the CareShareDare Talks. So that's it. Once again, welcome to our CSD talk. Now on the rankings, of course, like I said, all of you are aware of the brand, but just, I mean, employability, masters in management subjects, social impact, we are on the top. You already know that. And if you want to go through, the detailed ranking under FT, QS, you can check in the slide, but I don't think I'll have to say too much about this because all of you are aware of it. But one thing which I would like to stress here would be on employability, because that is something which all students are interested in. They want to figure out what is the employability ranking of a particular school when they take a decision. And let me say, AMLU has been consistently ranked as the second best French B school in terms of employability consecutively for the last 6 years, which is great, by the way. And this comes from the recruiters. It's not something that comes from anybody else. These are the ones who recruit students like you, and they are the ones who top recruiters who give this ranking to the school. So yes, we've been consistently ranked, as a second best for the last 6 much kings in the quality of education, the excellent faculty. In fact, we have a video which we would want all of you to take a look at, which will give you an idea about the kind of school that you're going to be a part of, the kind of journey that you're going to, undertake as you join emlyon Business School. So let's take a look at this video.
Today, taking action is about committing and understanding that the planet will be much better off when we take care of it. It is about trusting and holding out a hand to each and every one of us, because together we are stronger. Today, taking action is about giving it all you've got to make the great leap into the workforce. It is about having the courage to climb higher and see further. Today, taking action is about experimenting, innovating, daring. It is a state of mind that we cultivate together. emlyon. Learning how to make a difference, here and now.
Well, learning how to make a difference here and now, that's exactly what we wanted to let you know, and cultivating that state of mind together. So this is exactly what we would like to also convey to all of you, that it's just not about going. This experience is something that you're going to cherish for the rest of your life, because it's just not about the quality of education or the peer collaboration or the excellent faculty. There's much more to emlyon than that. And by the way, a lot of images that you saw, we saw in the beginning, if you saw that the rooftop, that's a very famous action area, because a lot of events take place there. That's in the Lyon campus. You saw the library, you saw the Makers Lab. So these are places where you all would be sitting next year, and probably the new videos that the school will churn out will have some of your faces as well. That's on that note, I think we'll move to the yes, triply accredited. All of you know that. I need not say anything about it. Founded in 1872. So all these are information that you are aware of. Campuses, again, most of you would be aware that these are our campuses, but I would like to particularly stress on the fact that we have 2 campuses in India today, one in Bhubaneswar and the other in Mumbai. And this was exactly what I was telling you, that Ashley is also the chairman of Xavier EMLyo Business School. Now, this actually shows the intent that the school has for India. I mean, India is important for EMLyo Business School. That's the reason probably we are the only French business school which is already, and probably one of the only international business schools which has established 2 campuses already in the country. In Bhubaneswar, just to give a brief idea, we have something in sports industry management in collaboration also with the government of Odisha, which is again one of its kind collaboration for any international business school, and XIM University. So that's in sports industry management. We are running a dual degree master's program from Bhubaneswar. Mumbai, you saw Makers Lab in the video that we just shared. We have come up with a Makers Lab in Mumbai Xavier campus as well, St. Xavier's College campus. Within the campus, we now have a Makers Lab. So if any of you are in Mumbai and you wish to visit the Makers Lab, you can always reach out to any one of us in the team, and we will definitely see if you can go and take a look at the Makers Lab there in Mumbai. We have some exchange programs going on, and we are also looking at some interesting new programs that would be launched very shortly from India. So basically, I'm trying to tell you that India definitely features right up there for the school. So that's something that you should be aware of as Indian candidates traveling to EMLyo Business School. So that's on the campuses, and of course our range of programs. Again, some of you have applied for we have bachelors, we have masters. Masters, again, we have the masters in management, we have specialized masters, and MBA, executive MBA and PhD programs. So these are the wide range of programs that we offer. Most of you today here are either in MSc or MIM, and a couple of them also, I believe, in the MBA program. So as far as getting an overview of these programs, I would now request my colleague Saili to take it over from here so that she can give you an idea about all these programs in a nutshell, though most of you are aware of it, but I'll let her take you through that. So over to you, Saili. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Diksha. So to talk about all the programs in detail is definitely going to take a long time, and I'm sure all of y'all have must have gone through the website or the brochure. But just to highlight some of the important aspects of the Master of Science programs in general, all of them will take you through a journey of 18 months, roughly 18 to 24 months. They all have 4 to 6 months of internships, very exciting international seminars, wherein these seminars basically you get to attend conferences in really interesting companies anywhere across the world, wherever the industry is flourishing. The program takes you there, and I think it's a very good opportunity for all of y'all to start building your international network through these seminars. And of course, all our programs, MSc programs, are RNCP certified. They have the label of the Conference de Grande École, which most of the students always are worried about. So yes, they are all certified. You do get to apply for the post-study visa and work for some more time if that is what you're looking for. We have total 12 specializations in masters. All the programs will basically teach you management techniques, very specific to different industries, say hospitality, sports, there is luxury, there is health management. All of the programs have a trimester. Until now, I'm sure you all don't have much information about the third trimester, which is an international semester. But today, we would like to disclose this information about the current batch of students who joined in 2022, where they would be going. So you all can expect to go to a similar location, or if not the same, it could be a little different, but just to show you the kind of how emlyon has expanded its international footprint is through setting up and some of the almost all of the programs in specific locations across the globe. As you can see, strategy and consulting and sports industry management will be delivered for the international semester will be delivered in HEC Montreal, based in Canada. For the international hospitality management, students will be going to Las Vegas. The international marketing and business development students would be going to Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. There is data science and artificial intelligence and digital marketing as well. Students who are going to to Canada, and then there is SC supply chain and purchasing management going to Egypt. So you all MSc students can definitely are in for a very great international exposure, not just in terms of the location, but when you travel along with your colleagues who are coming from different parts of the world and you do an in-company project, which is something that will prepare you for your, it's basically going to prepare you for your internship or for your first job. So you get a hands-on experience in a different country with working with different cultures, and it's a fantastic experience. I just would like to say that, and I hope that you all are excited for it. Coming to the MIM program, the Grande École, this is one of our very highly recognized program, 12th recognized 12th worldwide by the QS ranking, 9th by the Financial Times. This program, basically, I would just like to highlight that it is the program is very you get the freedom to sort of do the program the way you want it. You can do a gradual progression towards your specific modules. You can decide to choose between different semesters, whether you want to go abroad in the first year or the second year. You can go on partner exchanges with 190 plus academic partners of ours across the globe. Then there is also the pedagogy of the program is such that there are DNA courses in this program. There is applied research projects that you can you must do those in your first year. And in the video, if you saw, there were students who were working in the Makers Lab. So this is something which you will get to do in your first year. You get to build a project right from a prototype to how it will be marketed to the industry that you want to build your company in. So if there are any entrepreneurs here who wish to start something of their own in the future, definitely look forward to the first year of the program. It is going to be a good fundamental basic and core understanding of what management is all about. Finally, coming to our international MBA program, there is, instead of talking much about it, I think we would like to show you all a video of one of our ex-students, and let's hear what he has to say about the program.
I will give a quick view of what I did in India and then why I chose emlyon. So that should be the biggest part. Currently, I'm working as a healthcare consultant. Since last year, I've been in Barcelona. I will give a quick view of what I did in India and then why I chose emlyon. So that should be the biggest part. Currently, I'm working as a healthcare consultant. Since last year, I've been in Barcelona. there's a website also from emlyon which has jobs exclusively for emlyon. Let me tell you, I got my first internship through that portal, not through LinkedIn. I have just one advice for the students. If you're applying, use your strengths. I was basically working on my strengths. So I knew I was strong in sales. The companies do not come to you.
Exactly.
You go to the company. There's always the context. Become a monkey, try different things, and you will reach the top and you will have fun.
So this was just a teaser, guys, but if you all are really interested, Sahil is an amazing alumni. I would say he is living the life and in Europe, and one of our very bright alumni. You can see the video on YouTube if you are interested later. It's there on our channel. What he said is quite interesting, because all of y'all will be exposed to a dedicated careers track, which through which y'all will be having a lot of panel companies visiting. There will be fairs, there will be career services week wherein y'all can get your CVs checked from our experts. You know how to cater them to the European market, and how exactly what you must do and where you should be applying, how to use your strengths, and then eventually become employable, not just employable, become one of the top employable students, like Diksha just said, in terms of the ranking. So yes, I think we are done. And if I think, Diksha, you can take forward from it.
Yes, thank you, Saili. I think there are some questions on the chat. We'll answer that. I think there was one on MSc in finance. I think we'll reply that in the chat box itself. I think this has given you an idea. I mean, like I said, you all are already aware about the different programs. You know the programs that you're applying for. You've done your research, but this was something that we wanted to just give you an idea about. In terms of the what we can showcase in terms of the programs and their strengths. So that's a little teaser that we sort of shared here. But you're free to call us and discuss with us, or give me, Saili, Ridham, any one of us a call. And if there are any other queries that you have, you can always take it on directly with us as well, anytime. That's a given. Now, what Sahil just said at the end, that be a monkey, experiment. That interview, I just would like to say that the full video coming soon. We had to play that teaser. We couldn't edit that, but the full video is already there, like Saili has mentioned. In fact, I request Ridham to share that link here in the chat box, so that some of you can copy it. And I keep requesting this to all our Indian students, that please follow us on our Indian handles as well. emlyon Business School handles, of course, there you need to follow them. But we also try and share some information, relevant information for you. We try to organize these activities with alumnus, which are very relevant for all of you, and that we post on our India channels, like our Facebook, emlyon Business School Facebook India, Instagram, and also YouTube. So I would request all of you, if you haven't yet, please follow those channels, because you can find a lot of your questions that you ask us have actually been answered by our alumni over there in these videos. In fact, we had an online campus day in November, and we had a session with the current student ambassadors who are currently engaged in various programs, MSc programs, and there were again two of our alumni who were there for another session. So they also, I think, took a lot of questions, which are generally there in the minds of all of you candidates. So I think please go through those videos. It'll give you a insight into a lot of things that you might be confused about at this point of time. So I'll request Ridham if he can share all the links in the chat box for all of you, and then you can copy it and check it out later. And now what we had said, post the presentation, of course, we'll have a Q&A session, but that'll be at the end. I would now like to introduce, as I saw, there's Sachit. There he is. I was just trying to figure out where's the bright young man. So, okay, boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen, that's only for, gentlemen is only for Ashley. The boys and girls are us here. So that is Sachit Bhatia for you. He's in, just passed out from our MSc in strategy and consultant, and he's already in a job. And I don't want to do that thing of introducing him, because I would want Sachit to actually share his journey. I don't want to sound biased here for anybody. So I let Sachit do the talking and hand it over to him so that he can introduce himself. He can talk a little about his journey, how he took the decision. He was here a year and a half back. I think he was right here in your shoes, how he took the decision to join emlyon and his journey so far. And currently, as he's settled as a consultant in Brussels, how's his next chapter in life. So I'll let Sachit take over. And first of all, Sachit, thank you so much for taking our time for this session. So genuinely, thank you from all of us at the India team.
No problem at all, Diksha. And to be honest, I think you can still introduce me a little, because without you, I don't think my journey would have even started. So yeah, that's you definitely have you definitely have the right to say a few lines for sure.
That's for another day. That's for another day, Sachit. But yeah, it's all you. And I want you to, seriously, it's Sachit has been, I mean, just to give a little idea, a very dynamic student from the time I started interacting with him. I think he was always ready to, which I always tell candidates when I talk, that you should be ready to push yourself out of the comfort zone. And that is something that I noticed in Sachit the very first time I spoke with him. So I knew this, he'll do well. I was very sure about it. So when he called me and he texted me and he said that, okay, I've got the job. I said, I knew this was happening very quickly, and he didn't take much time as well. But like I said, I let Sachit share those details. So Sachit, please just give us an idea about how you took the decision to join emlyon. How was your journey in the MSc in Strategy and Consulting program, various aspects of your journey. And then, of course, like I said, this chapter, when you have started as a consultant. So yes, please.
Yeah. So for me, the decision for the program was decided because in India I was already working in consulting, and I knew that kind of consulting was more generic and not exactly what I wanted. So the decision for the course was, in a way, I knew what I wanted to do. The decision to join emlyon was, as I said, like, Diksha was the starting point for that. But more than that, when I had discussions with her about the program, about the college, and she also connected with me with some other students who had also researched and who were, I think there was one past student as well that I connected up as well. So Diksha helped me connect with people who gave me a much more deeper insight about the program, and honestly, it felt a much more wholesome program than the other colleges that I was considering to join for the degree of strategy and consulting or strategy consulting. So in that sense, emlyon being recognized was already a good brand name, and having a very focused and, I'm repeating the word, but wholesome program, because it was focused on theory, the basics, then giving you practical exposure, and as well as integrating interactions with real-time consultants or strategy professionals, because I don't know how many of students here are actually looking for in the strategy consulting, but there are in the second trimester, you have a field mission, which is basically you are working as a real-time consultant in as during part of your week with actual companies on strategy missions. And in the same trimester, you also have real-time consultants or strategy managers and consulting or actual industry companies coming to give you their experiences, their learnings, and how they work in the strategy domain. So those practical integrations with theoretical knowledge seemed to make the program much more effective for me from an outside point of view, and going through the program as well. I think that those pieces, when joined together at emlyon, they really helped me get that bigger picture of the strategy consulting domain. Yeah, for us, the international trimester or the international semester was still a bit dodgy because of the COVID restrictions. And I think that is one of the reasons that the location is now changed to Canada, because it's much more easier to plan the logistics and the the partnerships there rather than the other location that was previously planned. So I think that would be a good exposure as well, because we had a trip. We, instead of doing the 1 month seminar, we ended up doing another field mission kind of a thing in Lisbon. And that was, again, we worked with the startup to provide a strategic guidance or do a strategic mission for them. It was a 1 week program, 1 week mission. But again, that gave us another insight about a different kind of environment, because in India, we know a lot about startups, but not a lot of people work in startups. So working with a startup mindset is also a huge difference than working with a consulting company or an established company. So surprise, but a good surprise, that that also helped us get a new perspective about strategy consulting or how strategy projects work. So that has been the academic journey. On the social side, I would agree with Diksha that was the main focus where I was pushing myself out of the comfort zone, because in India or before coming to France, I didn't speak French. I had some experience in college 6 to 8 years ago before I went to France. So that was as close to zero as possible. But going there, the language is the biggest thing that I think most of the students from India find being out of comfort zone. And for that, I will take the reference of the teaser video that Diksha and Sayali showed. That is where you have to be the monkey and try all ways that you can to learn the language and get yourself as much exposure as possible in the social life in the city you will be, whether it be Paris or Lyon, because I think most of the courses are divided there. I honestly still don't know which courses are held in the Saint Etienne location, so sorry for that, but yeah. But yeah, the social aspect is something that I recommend and suggest everybody to push yourself, because the more you put yourself in social situations with your classmates, with the shops that you go to, supermarkets or anything else, that is where you'll actually get integrated more and learn the language much faster than just reading or attending the classes that the college provides. No offense to the college classes, but I learned more from my friends than in the classes. And I think that's true for most of the languages. So yeah, no offense to any college that teaches the languages. Any specific thing that I should answer now?
Can I answer?
I think you should. Yeah, sorry, Ashley. Yes, Ashley.
Can I just follow up on what you just said? First of all, Sachit, thank you so much for your testimonial. There are two things I would like to follow up on. You mentioned the fact that you were in touch and talked to a lot of professionals in your field, experts in your field, and you had the chance to work on projects. And I think that's something very important, because we, Diksha and Saili, talked about the Makers Lab. The idea behind all that is that the pedagogy at emlyon is very much oriented towards learning by doing, which is something that is very important, because it helps you transition from the school to the job. And if you are prepared for that type of transition, obviously it makes things much easier. The second thing you said on a joyful note is that you mentioned that you had learned much more from your peers and in social interactions than at the school. And you are totally right. You are totally right for two fundamental reasons. The first coming from you, and the second has something to do with something else that I will elaborate on. The first one is that you only learn when you are interested. So that's it. When you are in an environment that challenges you, that you feel comfortable, that is friendly, etc., you will definitely be able to absorb more knowledge than in a set environment. And that's very important. That's where the social interaction is important. Peer learning is fantastic. And by the way, it's the difference between stock and flow, because today education is not about stock anymore. It's not about the degree. It's about the flow of knowledge that you have that will keep you relevant, that will keep you current in school and out of school. That's why social interaction is important. Soft skills are important. Meeting people is important, because, and that's the last point I want to make, I fundamentally believe in serendipity. I think the magic happens when you leave your comfort zone, but also the magic happens out of magic. In other words, you will meet someone that will talk to you about something that will help you connect with someone else, etc., etc. And that's where the opportunities are. If you are in a fixed mindset, in a secure environment, in other words, in a box, you will be missing out on all the opportunities that are out there for you to grab. So whatever you said is absolutely the journey that we try to emphasize as far as emlyon is concerned. Get out of your comfort zone, step into your walking shoes, meet people, apply your knowledge, and make your future. You see, it's really I'm very happy that you said all that, because that's exactly what we're trying to do. And if I said something wrong, please correct me, because obviously, you were in that situation.
To be honest, at first I was thinking I would add that the need, the wanting to learn, and there's also a necessity to learn. But then I remembered that there were other students who were in the same position as me, but they took the thing that the language is difficult, there's other options, and they just didn't go. There were necessity still, but they didn't. The want was still lacking. So that's why I then would not add. So anybody thinking that because we'll need to learn, we'll end up learning the language, that might not always be the case. There has to be that small push or a huge push from your own side to get into the language learning mode or get into the appreciation of the language. Because yes, whenever, even if with a native person you'll talk, they'll be like, French is a difficult language, but you don't have to take it as a difficulty. You just have to take it as an interesting thing. Change that small perspective, and then you'll get into a much more learning zone than just being there and doing what is the minimum required things that you need to do.
That's the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Someone with a fixed mindset will see it as a yes or no. Someone with a growth mindset might take it as an opportunity to grow, and that's very, very important. But if you haven't read this book, please read this book on growth mindset. It's, I think, fundamental in your journey forward. It's really very, very important.
I have a question. I was not there for the first half of the conversation, so just name the book again, please.
I will send it to you. It's called Growth Mindset, and okay. It's from one of my professors at Stanford, but I'll give it to you. It's a fantastic book. It's very important.
I think, Sachit, you've what you've shared. I mean, Ashley is again, it's the same thing that you both are saying, and this is exactly what we try to tell candidates. In fact, today itself, I mean, my next question to you, before I let students ask you questions as well, would be on of course the next chapter, like I was saying, how did you manage your journey to get the position that you've managed. But I just had this conversation, very interesting, with a prospective MBA candidate today, and we were having this discussion on jobs, post the program, the job opportunities, which is obviously, this is a typical thing, a very valid question that bothers candidates. What are the prospects and what kind of jobs would they get? But I was just having this conversation with him, and I was telling him that, look, when you go with that thing in your mind that you have to finish and you have to get a job, you have to just go complete your education and to get into a job. If you go with that pressure, you don't enjoy the journey. And that is something which when I had spoken to you, one thing that I really liked, even in our initial conversation, was that you were also, you had the same questions, you had the same queries that, what are the prospects, you wanted to connect with seniors and all that. But at the same time, there was a sense of, how do I put that? You appeared relaxed, you wanted to enjoy the journey. I saw that desire that you wanted to actually see what life is going to take you, where it's going to take you once you land in that school in Paris in September. So that is very important. I think that creates it takes that pressure off, and things become much more simpler and easier when you are in that relaxed state of mind, which is what the video was also about, that the state of mind that we want to cultivate together. It's very important. The state of mind, I think, is something that we have been stressing as far as, conversation with all our students are concerned. But it's, of course, my next question, though I say that you should not go with that pressure, but obviously you have, carved your own path now. And I'm sure the students here would like to know, how did it all happen for you?
Okay. So first, the pressure part, I would say that once you go there, I don't think that for the first 4 to 5 months, depending on which course you're in. Again, I was in the MSc Strategy and Consulting. So my course started in September and we finished our studies in June. That is, or May end, and June, July was the time where we had to start our internships. So for me, I didn't start taking the pressure of finding an internship or a job before mid of Feb or something like that. That is when I actually started getting into the finding an internship or a job mode. So those 4 or 5 months, depending on the program, you can change the duration, but those initial couple of months is something that you should just focus and enjoy the general life, the studies, the social aspects of it, because going there and immediately getting bogged down or being worried about how to find internships would not be of use, because unlike India, there are always open positions, but going from a course to a first job in Europe, they always have those fixed time frames to search for interns or to start looking for jobs out of for students just out of college. So starting your searches in October, November would not be helpful. It would be very premature and would not be nice for your mental health or your social life as well. So the first couple of months or something, just enjoy, relax. And once you actually have to start finding jobs, it's the job finding environment is not at all the same as India. So just don't stay in the mindset that, okay, if there are career events, you'll go, you'll meet people, and automatically it will be a very easy thing to find a job. It's more about how much running you are doing for the job. So you have to be the one, you network with people in those events, but you have to follow up. You'll have to find LinkedIn connections. You'll have to follow up with them, apply on the positions that you think are nice. And again, at least for me, I knew that when I started my job search, there was always that fixed story, or what I wanted was very sure for me. So having that surety of what you want and how it links to where you started is always important, because that story will also be something that shows your strength in a way, or how confident you are about what you want. So if you don't already have it, maybe in those 4 or 5 months, that is something that you can work upon, that understanding what you actually want to do, because that would give you a much stronger pitch in a way when you are talking to the potential recruiters or HRs or anyone at the event. That is something that would be actually of use, having that strong story with you. Otherwise, if you had the language, that is automatically a big advantage. But yeah, the story for non-native speakers would be a big plus, because that shows that you are in touch with what you want, you know what you want to do, and that is what you're looking for. An example which I find a very ego boost for myself and a bit of a daring move that I actually did. I was interviewing with Deloitte. I'm pretty sure the financial and the management students would definitely know. The process went positively, and in the end, they did offer me a job, but there was some confusion about, or they changed what kind of position they were going to offer me. So that was a position that I didn't want to do. So in the end, I ended up saying no to them, because I knew that is a position that is not what the direction I want. And I said no to them. That was in March. And after that, again, I was in the searching mode that again, I have to find it. So you have to be strong sometimes in saying no to potentially good looking offers as well. Not just take the first one that comes your way. It was the biggest risk, because that was the only job, that was the only process I was going through at that time. So it felt like a big risky move, but because I knew that that direction was not something I wanted, I still went with it and said no. So yeah, be confident, and it might take some time, but it gets there. And to be honest, that is one of the reasons I chose EU rather than UK, was because in the end, like that's the worst case scenario that you can think of, is that you have access to a multitude of countries to look for. So you are not just looking in France, but in the end, if you don't find the jobs that you're looking for, or you want to search for jobs, you have other countries that you can look at as well. So that's another advantage that you get because of being in the EU zone and rather than just one country specific market.
In fact,
Diksha,
yes.
Diksha?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Ask Sachit.
No, you.
Me? Oh, sure. Of course.
Where did you find this actor? Okay. Now, more seriously, Sachit, what I think is, thank you for sharing this, but I what you just said, I think is, I would like to rephrase it a little bit, and I think add a little bit context and information to our students. What you are saying is what you are living in the crux of the moment, and it's very, very important for you to share that with the students. Allow me, as an old man, to provide a little bit of perspective.
I would say wisdom.
No, what I think you said in a nutshell is something I would like to share with the students as well. Do not, and I'm being very very clear on this. Do not feel that because you are going to come to emlyon, you are automatically going to get a job. Okay, it is not the way it works. It is not the way it works at emlyon. It's not the way it works in France. It's not the way it works anywhere. Okay, because the placement type of thing does not function in Europe, does not function in the States, etc., etc. You're going to have a lot of opportunities to meet with companies, as Sachit said. You're going to have a lot of opportunities to meet with people. Okay, and I would like to share with you something. KPI does not mean key performance indicators. KPI means key personal interests. If you figure out what are your key personal interests and what are the key personal interests of the person you are meeting, and if you can create a bridge between that person and you will create an opportunity for yourself. Okay, so what Sachit is saying basically is, when you meet with people, talk with people, engage with people, converse with people. It's a people-to-people game. It's not a diploma or a degree to work game. Okay, so that's something very important. The growth process is also for you to understand. You must transition from a student to a professional. That's very, very important. And last thing that I keep telling everybody I meet, so there's no reason why I should not punish you with that as well. In life, you do not get what you deserve. In life, you get what you take. It's very, very important. So in other words, it's a given that the school is one of the best schools in France and in Europe. It's a given that the education you're going to get is one of the best educations in France and in Europe, if not in the world. Okay, but at the end of the day, it's all about what you are going to do with that asset. Very simple.
I will just add one thing, because you said that you don't know what you deserve, but you get what you take. So I would add that, so be sure of what you're taking, because that is a very important thing, that you're taking the right things that match with you. So that's the only thing.
But what you said, no, it's totally true. But what you said was really music to my ears, because when you decided to refuse the job, okay, it showed two things. It showed that you were confident, okay, and you had in mind something that was your end game, and that made you very attractive, actually. No, seriously, and it's a very important thing. You made it happen. And just to sort of leverage what not leverage, but to add to what Diksha said, guys, I know it's a very it's a very trying decision that you guys are going to make. It's complicated. It's stressful. The end game is job. The ROI is there as well. I'm not stupid, but what you must understand is that you must transform what appears to be as a pressure into something that will turn out to be an opportunity. Okay, and that is something that is all up to you. It's your mindset. It's the way you approach problems. It's the way you approach constraints. It's the way you tackle adversity, volatility, uncertainty. And that's how you transform a situation that seems totally blurred into a situation that shows prospect and shows opportunities. And that's the difference between noise and signal, by the way. And I promise I'm not going to talk anymore.
No, I'm sure the students are loving this. But thank you, Sachit. This was exactly what. And by the way, me and Sachit had no prior discussion about what's going to be the content of this webinar.
I literally asked her and she refused to tell me anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just
sure.
to sort of make it very clear that I never told him that
Hey.
Sachit, this is what you have to say, or this is what you're going to do. I said it's yours. I mean, say
Diksha,
whatever you
seriously, this is what I like. I mean, this is what we are. Okay, we are this type of transparent team. We are this type of forceful team, and I mean, we can do very serious things. Okay, we can do very serious things, but not take ourselves too seriously, because that's at the end of the day what is important as well. Okay. So obviously there'll be a lot of jokes, there'll be a lot of fun, but we will get there. We will get there. I don't want these talks to be formal. I don't want these talks to be, it's about sharing once again. We're having a friendly talk in the middle of we're sharing, no, I know, probably not beers because I don't drink, but soft drinks or whatever. And okay. And let's have this conversation. So come on, guys, now shoot your questions.
Yes,
I guess that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. We would now want you to ask your questions. Of course, some of them have been asking questions, and Saili has been also, I see, responding to a lot of them. But please, if you want to ask a particular question to any one of us, and particularly to Sachit, he's at his journey, and you've heard him. So if there's any particular question on anything, on the lifestyle, anything. I mean, if you want to ask any particular question, please, let's make it interactive. You don't want to go boring and just us talking. So shoot some questions, guys, and I would want you to switch on your videos, introduce yourself, and then ask the question. That'll be more interesting than asking it without the video. So who's going first? Oh my God.
Hi Sachit, how are you? Gaurav this side. Hey. So I just want to ask, so your course was based in Paris or Lyon?
Paris.
Yeah. Okay. And so do you think is there a difference between living in Paris and Lyon, in terms of culture, or what would your opinion about it?
I'm not sure, because I only visited Lyon for 3 or 4. No, actually, I visited on my own for 3 days, and then there was a college event, so I went another for two more days. But I think one of the biggest difference between Lyon and Paris would be the cost.
Okay. Sure.
No,
Yeah.
but in general, I think Lyon is also beautiful because they have a lot of places you can go see. They have mountains and everything nearby, so it's pretty good there. Paris is more multicultural in some ways. Lyon would also have other cultures, but I think they would have more European a bit more rather than just French. And in Paris, you might find other outside of Europe as well. So honestly, not the best person to answer the comparison between Lyon and Paris, because I myself never stayed there for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Ashley, I think, by the way, Justin, I said he's from, Ashley lives in Lyon. For all of your information, and Sachit has already given you an insight in Paris. So I'll request Ashley to give some insight about Lyon as a city to all our students here.
Okay, so full disclosure, yeah, I live in Lyon, but I worked in Paris for about 15 or 20 years. So yeah, I guess I could probably give you some information as well. What Sashi said is totally true in terms of cost of living. I mean, Lyon is definitely a better choice in terms of cost of living. In terms of size, Lyon is also a smaller city. Quality of life, Lyon is probably also a better city in terms of of commuting, in terms of transport, etc., etc. We have the mountains 1 hour away. We have the sea 2.5 hours away, 3 hours away. If you, 2.5 hours if you drive fast or you take a fast train, and 3 hours, 3.5 hours
if I can add, Ashley, we have Switzerland 2 hours away.
No, she's crazy. Don't listen to her, because she wanted to go on that Yash Chopra type of thing, and but
I'm aware of that geography.
But so Lausanne, Switzerland is 1 hour away. Milan, Italy is about 2 hours away, etc., etc. So in other words, Lyon is a great place to be. Paris is, as Sachit said, more cosmopolitan, probably, a bigger city, capital, like any capital. You have the buzzing life. As a student, honestly, there's not much of a difference if you don't. You can make that difference. There's nothing detrimental in being in one city or the other. I think you all know that Paris is 1 hour 50 minutes from Lyon, or Lyon is 1 hour 50 minutes from Paris with a fast train, and you can get very cheap tickets now because for especially for students. So that's not going to be a major go no go factor. It's more about how you feel about what you want to do, and you will have as many opportunities in one city or the other.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. And I'm not part of the tourism team at emlyon, by the way. Neither am I part of the tourism team of Lyon as a city. So okay.
No worries. I'll get in touch with them for that.
Sure. It's called Only Lyon, in case you want to get in touch with them.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just add one thing from a career point of view, because before I left India, I contacted a few colleagues who I was a bit active on LinkedIn, and because at that time I was working with EY, so I contacted some EY.
Oh, same. I was also working at EY.
Yeah, so I contacted some people who were in EY and had some sort of connection with emlyon, and there are good opportunities in Lyon as well. So from the job market as well, like Ashley said, that you won't find less jobs in Lyon. So Lyon and Paris have a very good corporate world as well. So you'll have that balance as well. Maybe in Paris, you'll have more startups, or maybe some a bit more startups than or smaller firms than Lyon, but yeah, from a corporate point of view, you will find almost them at the same level in most of the ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you, Gaurav, for that question. Any more questions, guys?
Pawan has lifted his hand.
Pawan, you raised your hand.
Yeah.
Hi, Pawan.
Hey, thank you. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Good evening,
everyone. Yeah. So more of a serious question now. Let's get into business, right? We've had all the tourism and talks about that. So it's more of an academic question to you, Sachit.
Yep.
So coming in from the Indian education system and mentality, would you be able to, in brief, point out what students would need to be aware about the French classroom experience, first thing? Secondly, the way in which assignments or examinations as such, how is the pattern? Is it very different, or would it be something that we'd be able to fit in with not much of a trouble?
So the trouble part, I will honestly not comment, because the how much trouble you feel in every subject or every assignment is dependent on how well you grasp the subject. So the trouble part is more on your individual grasping. But the overall classroom experience, I would say, classroom experience is more or less the same. In terms of academics and learning part, I would say that because the professors that we had were also had a lot of actual industry experience. So one of the program in charge that we have worked in the industry for 20 years. Then we had other visiting faculties who were working in field. So it was more practical experience driven lectures that we had. Examinations, only some subjects we had examinations. Otherwise, most of the scoring for our subjects was done on the assignments that we had during the class, and then one end of the class assignment kind of a thing. And because most of them are group projects, only some would have some individual assignments. So that gives you another experience to bond with different people in your class. So that way, the group projects actually are also a good way to know more people and talk to other people. And maybe if you are in a group with more French students, then maybe get some feel included by trying to learn French. Or if you are on the other side, then you'll feel like they're talking in French more. But yeah, those experiences are something that for group experiences that will help you be friendly with the entire class in some ways. So practical, inclusive because of the group thing. Most of the classes for which I attended didn't have an exam. Only I think 2 or 3 classes had an exam. Otherwise, most of them were assignments and end of term assignments. So did I forget to answer anything?
I think that you summed that up well. I think I was only looking at moving from a very individualistic mindset towards a very collaborative mindset towards what we are having here at emlyon. So thank you.
Yeah,
so much.
because in India, I think there are group assignments, but the majority of the scoring is still based on the end examination that you give, which is more about just writing what is in the book. So that is why not having an examination and doing the projects is giving you that practicality in some ways, that in how do you implement it, because even the projects that are there are not just that you have to write a paper or something. It's about picking the core of the subject, then introducing a real life case, and then studying that case and giving your insights about how that case relates to what you have learned in the class. So that is why it's more practical and or case study driven rather than just bookish or anything. I don't think I purchased even one textbook during my entire 1 year. So yeah, no textbooks at all. We were just listening to what the professors had to say, writing some notes based on the presentation or some key points. But yeah, it was more around what you learned and how you implement that in a real life situation. So yeah.
Sure. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Pawan. Any other questions, guys? Before you all start feeling hungry and it's dinner time, if there are more questions, please shoot them at Sachit right now. I mean, you can shoot them at us as well, but now that I have Sachit, so I'm pushing Sachit in front of all of us. So any further questions from you? I mean, anything else in the chat box that we have not answered? It's a very quiet group that I can see. Atish?
Hello.
Hi,
Yes.
You have a question?
Yes. Hello, I'm Atish, and I recently
And you're
received
in
my
San
admit
Francisco,
for...
apparently.
I'll have to change it to Pari now. So I recently received an admit for sports management. And so my question is, compared to the Lyon campus, I feel Pari would be slightly restricted. So that's the main question. Like, will I have fewer student associations and the clubs and all? So how is it compared to the Lyon campus?
Okay. You're doing the MSc, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Sports industry.
I know for a fact that even I was looking into the clubs, and more from perspective of how many clubs there are. I think the bigger aspect that you have to think is that because MSCs are usually just a 1-year program. So if you want to participate, I don't think that MSc students usually participate in the management of clubs a lot, because they are mostly handled by the students who are bachelors or MIM who have like a 3 or 4 year duration. So it's easy for them to do 1 year and then pass on to the next batch and everything. For MSc students, I honestly don't think that the clubs are from a more participative point of view, and from participating in activities, yes, I think that because if you look at the size of the campus as well, obviously because the Lyon campus is in Equis, which is like a bit of outskirts and a more big campus, and the Paris campus is more of a building, so you have classes and everything, and you'll meet students, but activity point of view, there would be a bit limitation, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and to be very honest, like I was trying to figure out some clubs myself when I started, and it took me a while to realize that yes, from an MSc, for an MSc student, it will not be, they are not in the organizing committee at all. It's mostly the bachelor students. And I remember that I saw there was frequently I saw students who were planning or who were discussing some event, but yeah, again, they were more for students who are there for longer, and because you would not always be in the campus at the same time as when they're planning, so you'll have to maybe keep an eye out, or maybe when you cross paths, just talk or try to understand what they are planning and how you can participate.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you, Atish. Any further questions, guys? All right. If there are no more questions, I think we would like to have some concluding words from Sachit and some concluding words from Ashley as well. So before we end this,
excuse me, ma'am.
Oh, we have a question. Yes.
Yes. Sorry to interrupt.
No, absolutely.
Sachit.
Yep.
Okay. Sachit, so I'm Dennis. So I had a question. So you've been working in a consultant company in India, and now you've moved to France, and then you're working in another working as a consultant now there. So do you think there is something that is fundamentally different in how a consulting company would work in India and in France, or in your case in Brussels, and Europe generally?
I'll answer that in two ways. First, the company when I was working in India was more of a back-end support. So first thing, I was not dealing with clients. So for me in this company, the first thing that is different is I would be working with clients more often. Second, I only joined on the 2nd of January, so it's still a bit too early for me to comment on the major differences. But I think one common thing that I can say is that if you're working in the consulting industry, I think everybody understands the fact that the normal 9 to 5 hours are not exactly applied on you. But they do understand that the Saturdays and Sundays, unless it's a very crucial or very crunched time frame, Saturdays and Sundays are personal time, and everybody is respected. In some ways, you find that in India as well. But for me, at least, I realized that when the COVID and the work from home thing started, the lines got blurred. But again, it's just 1 month for me, so might be a bit too early for me to point out the differences very accurately or in a very enlightened manner. So I would refrain from commenting on that for the next 2 or 3 months at least.
Sure, I'll follow up that.
And my internship was with an industry company. So again, that was a much more different environment for me. From that perspective, I can tell you that I found people much more supportive, helping me learn, helping me understand, giving me the speed and adjusting to my speed, and giving me that time that, okay, you are an intern, you are 9 to 5, that's all you are focused on. Or in some ways, I pushed myself on certain occasions, but yeah, from them, there was never a pressure to extend hours or match their working hours. So that internship experience, I can still comment that it was.
Can everybody else hear Sachit? Because I can't. Or is it
No,
my internet down, or is it his internet down?
I think it's Sachit.
It's Sachit's, okay. Okay. So we have Sachit, I think some net issue.
Diksha, I think there's a very interesting question from Pawan, who wants to know what is the story behind CareShareDare.
Yeah. Well, I think Pawan, I'd already shed light on that, and it was, it was something during the pandemic, and it was between a conversation that I was having with Ashley, and like Ashley has already said, that the team that we have, we work very I mean, we do things seriously, but we don't take ourselves too seriously all the time. And, while we were having these discussions on how candidates at that point, how it was, everybody was so tensed, so worried, will they get the visa? Will they be able to travel? Will they have online classes? Will they have offline classes? What will happen if they do offline classes? Will it affect the recruitment? I mean, so many queries. I mean, should they convince their parents? Should they give up? Should they, postpone plans to go abroad for next 2 years? So every now and then these questions, every time we were talking, they wanted to go take that step, join the school. They had the offer, but somewhere along, they were not able to push themselves to take that decision. And that's where I think when me and Ashley were having this conversation, and it was, I mean, Ashley says that it was, but I think it was a combined brainchild when we decided that,
No, it was not. It was my idea, and stop taking credit for that.
Okay.
Oh, that's enough. Okay, that's enough.
Yeah, it was his idea, and I'm trying to steal that and make it mine now.
My gosh. My gosh.
Yes, exactly. I'm a thief. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, on a serious note, yes, that's when we were having this discussion, and the whole concept that, we don't want to be just a school that is there to ensure that we get the numbers, that was something I think we shared very clearly, that it was just not about getting the numbers and reaching the target and just ensuring that anybody and everybody who's showing an interest should come to our school, and we must have to just convince. I mean, honestly, there have been numerous occasions when I have personally told candidates, don't come to the school. I mean, and this is something that I'm saying in a webinar here in front of candidates. I've said that because when I've felt that the candidate does not have the right mindset to be in a country like France, it's not just about EMlyon, it's about any good French B school. It's about the mindset. At the end of the day, like I said, it's about the mindset. So I've been very open about it, and Ashley knows it. I've done that quite a few times, and he's aware of everything that we do, of course. So that's where we were discussing on, how to, at that point, give them that confidence, help them have that right frame of mind, the right mindset, the right attitude to take that decision. And that's how the whole thing of CareShareDare webinar was, we decided, and the name, care, share, and dare, the whole idea was that we are there to care, we are ready to share it with you together, and we want you to dare, we want you to dare to take that step that you are so reluctant to take right now. So that was the whole idea, how we started these talks. But of course, under that, we've been doing a lot of activities now, and it's become very, very special to us, CareShareDare, for the India chapter at least. And we intend to have these more discussions with all of you, not just now, but most likely every month we want to do something or the other, to keep our students engaged, to help them get the relevant information, contact them with alumni like Sachit, at times maybe inviting program directors to also join in these sessions to have a discussion with all of you. So that's how the story is. So just to answer your question, Pawan. But Sachit, you were, I'm sorry, you got frozen, and I had taken this question.
Yeah, to be very honest, because as I told that I just moved to Brussels in January. So the one key component that is still missing from my apartment is a Wi-Fi. And I was connected with my laptop using the SIM that I got from the office. So suddenly it got disconnected from the hotspot. So that's why I just got lost out. So yeah, that was the reason.
Have you tried the waffles?
Apparently, French fries are bigger than waffles here.
Really?
Yeah, you'll find French fries much more commonly than the waffle places.
Well, I hope you don't eat French fries for breakfast. That's all.
No, but for lunch and dinner, you'll most find them very easily. Breakfast seriously, the croissants and all those things here, coffees and croissants.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So thank you, Sachit. I think you've been very sweet to accept the invitation. You've just joined, I understand, but you were still kind enough to come and attend this webinar, talk to students, be so frank, be so honest about everything that you have to share, and not mincing anything here. And
there's a question.
That's what these conversations are all about: unfiltered conversations, and that's exactly what you've done. So we are super happy about that. And
Parth has asked a very light question, but I don't quite get his question. Parth, can you come on board and online, please? Hello.
Okay. Sachit, can you see the chat box? Parth, I think Sachit is again
frozen.
Sachit, beta Sachit.
So what's the question? Can I shoo away that area asking for Louis Vuitton? What does it mean? I mean, I'm sorry. Sorry?
How to get rid of, basically he's asking how to get rid of all those friends who will be asking me to get one of those Louis Vuitton bags. Once he goes to France.
To Paris. So, okay.
Shoo away. Yes. How to shoo them away. Sachit, any tips? Were you flooded with requests back home? Ye leke aana, wo leke aana.
For me, because there was an office colleague who asked me to bring a bag or something, and I told them that I am the one who left the job. I am the one who invested in the studies. You're asking an unemployed, unearning person to bring something back. You are the one who should be arranging gifts for me when I come back. That is probably the response you can use.
I like you. I totally like that. So that's I think Parth, that's a good way to shoo away those friends. I hope that answers your question.
On the flip side, actually get gifts rather than just shoo away.
Yeah, so he's given you an additional tip. You don't just shoo away, you ensure that they're also giving you gifts, because you have invested your time, energy, money, and you're going to a foreign country, so they should be the one giving you gifts and not asking for gifts.
He's good. Sachit is really good.
All right, I think
okay.
we've questions on serious note, and we've taken questions on lighter note, and this was really interesting. I will let Ashley, conclude this before we say good night and goodbye to everyone. And besides the fact that you say that the team is super and you are absolutely proud of Diksha, Saili, Rhythm, and Rizwana as well. Besides that, last few words that you would like to say.
Yeah, that's the given. That's an absolutely given. No, I don't want to add anything. I think everything has been said. Everything has been said in a very transparent mode. Everything has been said in order to help you guys, once again, as I mentioned at the beginning, for you to gain information. If you don't have the information or you're still wanting information, feel free to reach out. And Diksha mentioned that we are going to continue these CareShareDare talks. The topics I would like to ask you to decide now. If you feel that we should look into one topic or another topic or one area or whatever, please share that as well with us, and we will figure out a way to bring that to the forefront. And this is the start of a conversation. Okay, so let's keep this conversation going. And I need to go myself because I have a meeting and I need to be there. So thank you very much, and have fun, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Once again. Bye. And yes, good night, guys. And yes, you can always contact us if there's any queries, any one of us for anything. And Rhythm has already shared the links here on those sessions that I had said. So if you haven't yet copied them, you can take or just visit the emlyon India YouTube channel, and you'll get these videos where you'll already have a lot of questions answered, just the way Sachit has answered so many of your queries today. Thank you, Sachit. Thank you, everyone. Good night. God bless.